Hey everyone, this isn't my normal video, so it's not my normal intro, but in this video, I am going to be making my predictions for the 2026 March Madness tournament, so you can follow along with me. We're going to go from the top left to the bottom left, and then scroll back up and go from the top right to the bottom right. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I got my paper bracket right here with me, and I'm going to fill them out as I go along. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first matchup is Duke and Siena. We are going to easily take the Blue Devils to beat the Siena Saints. That should be a cakewalk for Duke, honestly. I was going back and forth with this one between Ohio State and TCU. I ended up going with Ohio State, the Buckeyes, over the Horned Frogs of TCU, just because I believe they're probably the best 8 seed out of all the 8 seeds in this field. So I went with Ohio State over TCU. So St. John's Red Storm and Northern Iowa Panthers, we're going to go with the 5 seed St. John's over the 12 seed Northern Iowa Panthers. I think Rick Pitino will make easy work of them. Kansas Jayhawks and California Baptist, I don't know their name, but we're going to go with the Kansas Jayhawks over CBU in this one. I think the 4 seeds are really good this year, and the 13 seeds are really bad this year. So yeah, I picked a lot of 4 seeds to move on. So we got our first upset right here. We're going to pick the 11th seed South Florida Bulls to beat the Louisville Cardinals, the 6th seed. So I like this matchup, and it's going to be really close, this one, I think. But I think South Florida can pull it off. Michigan State Spartans versus North Dakota State Bison. Sparty Party, Michigan State. We're taking Tom Izzo, the March Tom Izzo, to beat the Bison of North Dakota State. UCLA Bruins and UCF Knights. We're going to go ahead and take the Bruins to beat the Knights of UCF in this one. Connecticut and Furman Paladins. We're taking Dan Hurley March over the Paladins of Furman for that game. Now we'll go to the South region. Florida versus the winner of Prairie View and Lehigh. We're going to take the Gators chomp chomp to beat the winner of that game. Clemson and Iowa. Iowa, I believe, is favored in this game as well. We're going to take the Hawkeyes to beat the Tigers of Clemson. Vanderbilt Commodores versus McNeese State Cowboys. We are taking the Vandy Commodores in this one. This is another one that I was really conflicted with because I usually take only one 13th seed each year, but I decided to go with the Cornhuskers of Nebraska to beat the Condoms of Trojans. Here's another upset. Give me my VCU Rams, my alma mater, to beat North Carolina, the Tar Heels. The Tar Heels are actually favored by only 2.5 points, and this is a 6 versus 11 seed. So yeah, give me that 11 over 6 upset as well for the South region. Give me my Rams. Illinois Fighting Illini versus the Penn Quakers. Fighting Illini being the Quakers in that one. Should make easy work of them. St. Mary's and Texas A&M, 10 over 7 upset. Give me the Aggies of Texas A&M to beat the Gales of St. Mary's. And Idaho Vandals and Houston Cougars. Go ahead and give me the Cougars of Houston with the 2 over 15 right there. This should make easy work of them. Going up to the West region, Arizona versus LIU Brooklyn. Wildcats over the Sharks for this one. There we go. Wildcats over the Sharks. Like I said, should make easy work of them. Should be a cakewalk, hopefully. Utah State versus Villanova. Give me the Aggies of Utah State over the Wildcats of Villanova. The Aggies are actually favored to win that one by 2.5. So yeah, give me the 9 over 8. Wisconsin versus High Point. Go ahead and give me the Badgers. We're taking the Badgers of Wisconsin to beat the High Point Panthers. This is going to be a very, very popular upset pick, but I think the Badgers can take this one. Arkansas, probably the best 4 seed out of all the 4 seeds. We're going to take the Razorbacks to beat the Gay Pride Warriors, aka Rainbow Warriors, of Hawaii. BYU versus the winner of Texas and NC State. If either of these teams make it, I still think the Cougars of BYU can take either of these teams. So give me the Cougars over either the Longhorns or the Wolfpack to win that game. Gonzaga Bulldogs and Kennesaw State Owls. Bulldogs over the Owls. We're going to go with Gonzaga there. Here's another 10/7. Give me the Mizzou Tigers to beat the Miami Hurricanes. This one is actually being played in St. Louis. So Missouri's going to have home court advantage there. So yeah, give me the Mizzou Tigers over the Florida Hurricanes. And Purdue and Queens, give me the Boilermakers. We're taking Purdue, the Boilermakers over the Queens University Royals. Queens, North Carolina, by the way. Moving down to the Midwest, Michigan versus the winner of UMBC and Howard. We're going to go with the Wolverines there. Should be easy. Georgia Bulldogs and St. Louis Billikens. We're going to say the Billikens of St. Louis over the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm kind of A10 biased, but this is also just a pick'em game. It's a 2.5-point favorite for, I believe, Georgia, but we're taking the Billikens here. And here's my only 12/5 upset. We are going with the Akron Zips to take down the Texas Tech Red Raiders. This is my only 12/5, as you can see. And for the first time in a while, I have picked no 13 seed to be a 4 seed. Give me the Alabama Crimson Tide to beat the Pride of Hofstra in that one. Also, we're going to go with the Volunteers of Tennessee to beat the winner between SMU and Miami, Ohio. I think SMU will probably take that one, but I can see Tennessee beating either of these teams. I believe they're severely underseeded. They're probably the best 6th seed in this field. We're going to go with UVA, the Cavaliers, over the Wright State Raiders. We're also going to say another 10/7, my third of 4 10/7 games. Santa Clara to beat I think it's the Broncos, to beat the Kentucky Wildcats. So that is that one. And give me the Iowa State Cyclones over the 15th seeded Tennessee State Tigers. So that is my round of 64 filled out. Let's get to the round of 32. Duke and Ohio State, Blue Devils right there over the Buckeyes. We're also going to be taking the St. John's Red Storm. There we go. St. John's Red Storm over the Kansas Jayhawks. And Sparty Party, Tom Izzo and March, Michigan State over South Florida. And we're going to have a 7/2 right here. Give me the UCLA Bruins to beat the Connecticut and Dan Hurl E and March Huskies. Florida Gators over the Iowa Hawkeyes right there. We're also going with the 5/4 in this region as well, with the Commodores to beat the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Sorry to my alma mater, but I don't think you guys are going to be getting past the Fighting Illini. Their offense is just too good, and y'all's defense is kind of meh. And we're going to go ahead and say the Cougars of Houston over the Aggies of Texas A&M. Moving up to the West region, give me the Wildcats to beat the Utah State Aggies. 4/5 right there, probably the best 4 seed in the field. Arkansas Razorbacks over the Wisconsin Badgers. And we're going to have a 6/3 upset here. Give me the Cougars of BYU to take down the Bulldogs of Gonzaga. I like that matchup, and I really like BYU and Dabansa, wherever their best player is in that one. And let's go with the Boilermakers of Purdue to take down the Mizzou Tigers. Give me Michigan over St. Louis. Sorry, St. Louis, fellow A10 brethren, but I think Michigan's going to take y'all. Also, give me the Crimson Tide roll over the Akron Zips. And we're going to have another 6/3 upset here. Give me the Tennessee Volunteers to beat the Cavaliers of Virginia in that one. And we're going to say Iowa State, the Cyclones, over the Santa Clara Broncos. So how many upsets did I have in the first round? I had 1, 2... I'm not counting 9/8. I'm just counting 10/7 and more. 3, 4, 5... Okay, so I had 6 upsets in the first round, and I had 3 here with 7/2, 6/3, and 6/3. So I have 9 upsets total. I like that. We'll go ahead and say the Duke Blue Devils beat the Red Storm of St. John's. And we're going to take Sparty Party March Tom Izzo, Michigan State, to beat the UCLA Bruins there. So that Elite Eight is set. We're going to say Chomp Chomp Gators over Commodores, and the Cougars of Houston over the Illinois Fighting Illini there. We'll take the Wildcats of Arizona over the Razorbacks of Arkansas, and we're going to say the Purdue Boilermakers beat the Cougars of BYU in the Sweet 16. We are going to be taking the Wolverines of Michigan to beat the Alabama Crimson Tide, Rickrolled Tide there, and we're going to be taking the Iowa State Cyclones to beat the Tennessee Volunteers in that Sweet 16 matchup. So the Elite Eight is set. And for the first Final Four pick, we are going to pick the Blue Devils of Duke University to make it to the Final Four. And here's a matchup of last year's national championship game. Houston, I think, will be getting their revenge over the Florida Gators. Give me the Cougars for a 2-1 to make it to the Final Four. And give me the Wildcats of Arizona to beat the Purdue Boilermakers in the Elite Eight. And we are going to have another 2-1 here. Give me the Iowa State Cyclones to take down the Michigan Wolverines. The Final Four is set. And we have a Final Four rematch between Duke and Houston. Except last year they were on this side of the bracket. And I think Duke will be getting their revenge. Give me the Blue Devils to beat the Houston Cougars. And we are also going to be taking the Arizona Wildcats to top the Iowa State Cyclones in this one. So it's between Duke and Arizona in my national championship game. And which one am I going to pick? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Give me the Arizona Wildcats to win the whole thing over the Duke Blue Devils in the national championship with a final score of 75-72. That is my bracket. That is my Yahoo bracket. Hit me up in the comment section below. Please let me know who you picked, what you think about my picks, what some of your big upsets are going to be. I know I didn't have any really big upsets, maybe except for UCLA over UConn, but if you liked what you saw in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. And I will see you guys next time with another video. This is Steven signing out.